And now let's go live across to Global Technology Summit, where Minister of State for Electronic and Information Technology Rajeev Chandrasekhar is addressing the gathering.
Competitiveness stack, and you look at what's happening. Let's put Taiwan to the side. Arizona, Japan, Korea, Europe. The Indian niche that you're trying to build towards is where?
I think so first of all, look, I think we would be $110, $120 billion market for semiconductors as
domestically
in India. No, the demand for semiconductors, because on one hand, the electronics manufacturing industry is also growing leaps and bounds. So, A, we are a market. B, we are a geopolitically a geography that is, and I'll use these words carefully, that is certainly not Taiwan, that is not Korea, and is not very close to a country that we all realized is not really reliable and trusted. So we have geopolitical advantages, market demand, and in areas of design, research, and talent, we are certainly, our ambition is certainly to be out there competing with the best in the world. Now, in the fab and the packaging part, and packaging again, we think because of the way packaging innovation is evolving, and that again there is so much of headroom for innovation in packaging, that is again an area that I think India can be, if not amongst the leaders, at least in the lead table of that. On fabs, look, we'll play the long game. We will have the legacy node capabilities that will service automotive, industrial, and maybe in these cutting-edge compute areas where TSMC, Intel, Glofo, Samsung are the leaders. That is not an area that we will necessarily get into in a hurry because of just where that technology is and the risk and yield and supply chain that needs to be in place before you can support that kind of cutting-edge technology. So. We see in large part us playing a big role in the innovation of the semiconductor space, in the actual science and engineering space in the fabs. We will have a presence. We will create the capabilities around legacy nodes. And I mean legacy as in not 180 nanometers. I'm talking about 28 nanometer, 40 nanometer. And address segments of the market that are digitizing fast, automotive, industrial, wireless, and telecom, and allow the big boys to play in the compute and the mobile devices space.
The balance between attracting foreign firms and indigenization to build up the Indian competitor, how is that?
We don't see this as a binary at all. We don't see this as having to choose between a foreign company or an Indian company. We encourage foreign investments. Micron is a clearly American company. We encourage joint ventures. We encourage fully owned companies. And Micron is a classic example where usually the narrative is that you need an Indian partner because you need somebody to navigate the lay of the land. That's the conventional wisdom. And for Micron, the partner is the government of India and the government of Gujarat. So you really don't need that type of partnership anymore. You need partnerships where people bring complementary amounts of capital, pools of capital, or complementary skills. And so we are completely supportive and encouraging of partnerships or indeed 100% owned investments.
Can I ask you to talk a little bit about the legal architecture that's emerging here? We've heard a lot about the data protection and all that, but there's also the Digital India Act. There are other bills that are pending. Talk about how these things fit together to create a legal architecture.
So first of all, I must tell you that this is a well thought of architecture that is being rolled out. So there's nothing that is ad hoc. We're not solving one problem without looking at the other problem. The framework that our Prime Minister has mandated for us to build is a framework that will enable the $1 trillion digital economy goal that we've given ourselves. And that addresses electronics manufacturing, it addresses innovation, it addresses startups, AI, and all of that. The existing piece that we have is called the IT Act, which is, for those who don't know, is a 22-year-old legislation. Doesn't have the word internet in it, so therefore I think there's a consensus that it can be safely superseded and replaced. The successor act to that is something called the Digital India Act, which is a work in progress. We have the draft ready, and while a lot of work has gone into it, I suspect that before the next elections we will not be able to legislate it, because one of the things that the Prime Minister insists on is that we need every digital legislation to be extensively consulted on. So therefore, I don't think we have enough time to get that done. The second piece of that has been the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill, which is already enacted and is law, which is, again, I think, in a world that excessively celebrated the GDPR, this is, again, like I said, the same contrast. This balances the need to have innovation be growing unimpeded, as well as protecting consumer rights and fundamental rights to privacy. I think it does it very well, and from all the feedback I have gotten, people are happy with it. The rules that go into those that Digital Personal Data Protection Bill will be out for consultation later this month. They are ready, and we will notify those rules probably by end of this month or early next month.
The overarching theme of this summit is geopolitics and tech. So if you take that issue and you extend it globally, do you worry about the implications of fragmentation around legal architectures, data localization, different rules that are emerging? You mentioned GDPR. So there's a European way, there's an American way, there's a Korean way, the emerging Indian way. Do we have a harmonization problem, or is fragmentation not something that can?
I think there are two things here that are, in a sense, working in opposite directions. One is post-COVID. I think every country...
We were watching live from Global Technology Summit, where Minister of State for Electronics and Information Technology Rajeev Chandrasekhar was speaking.